always going to be perfect. In other words, maybe after you kicked, you don't feel comfortable and you're going to have to a little bit struggle. You don't have a chance in the street to say, hey, let's do it again. Okay? You're going to have to adapt. What your goal is here more than anything is to reach that point of reference. In other words, if something somehow was not perfect here, maybe you close instead of nice and big. Maybe you don't feel that you have a good hand and it starts jerking or tilting you or jilting you. That's fine. Continue, and your objective is this. As soon as you got this point of reference, you will be okay. So sometimes your way up to here is not going to be by a blueprint. Fight is not a blueprint because there's two people involved. You cannot rehearse that, and you definitely can say, can you do it again? He's not going to do it again. His objective is to hurt you. And sometimes it's going to be not as planned. Therefore, your goal is to get here, no matter what. This time Chris is coming for an angle 4 attack. Either he's going to slash or either he's coming in with a stab. I treat it the same way. I'm not trying to detect what's coming in and getting more stressed out by it. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is angle out. I'm angling out for 2 reasons. Number 1, so I'll have more distance to seize. Number 2, so I'm not a stationary target and I get him somehow a little bit off focus. As I angle out, I'm going to seize the knife. Again, positive, negative. Not this way, definitely not this way. Positive, negative. From here, I'm going to short circuit him by kicking him in the groin. Same technique applies here. I'm going to jilt and pull into a kick. Don't kick and defensively wise he yanks back and you'll be off balance again. So you pull and kick to short circuit him. From here comes my transaction into the point of reference. Again. 1, kick, point of reference. Now as soon as you got him in a point of reference, again, on this side. Attack. As soon as you got him in that point of reference, again, now you can go to work. Remember to have it tight to your body. Tight to your body. Make sure that it's a positive, negative, and your hand is on the armpit so you can control that it doesn't switch the blade over. From here I go to work. 1, 2, 3, and it puts me right into one of my objectives. Chris comes in across. Again, I angled out, I kicked. Now watch the transition. What gives me the transition is the jilt of me kicking in the groin. In other words, this is going to short circuit him. As I do so, I rotate down. Don't go across with the blade and then you get cut. Downward. From here, all I do is this hand scoops underneath, serves it into my chest, and I catch it. Okay, do not try to keep holding on and then your elbow is compromised and you're in awkward position. I don't want that elbow up like this. That hand holding here compromises your elbow leverage. All right, when you go here, all you do is down and you let go and you scoop and hug it. As soon as you got it hugged, you can go to work. This time I'm going to deal with the overhead. In other words, the angle is coming right from above me, what is usually called an ice pick. On this one, I'm going to have 2 tactics. I'm going to have the outside tactic and the inside tactic. In other words, I'm going to have the one that when I see it coming and I can move. Sometimes because of the nature of the technique, he's already going to be on top of you, and you're going to need a block to enter into your engagement. All right, I'm going to take you through the first tactic first. As he comes in, I'm going to move to 11 o'clock. Me moving to 11 o'clock is my defense because I am getting out of the line of travel. On this one, I'm going to shoot my hands up as a precaution. I am not seizing. Because of the nature of the attack and the leverage coming from up above, me seizing it is going to be compromising my safety. Therefore, on this one, I do not seize. As he comes in, I'm here. And I'm going to borrow his momentum to shove it right here. Okay? In other words, I am borrowing this momentum and dissolving the attack with the same motion where he was going to. Again, one and coming here. From here, all right, I am sticking my body to him to control him. Now you got to remember, he came with a lot of momentum and his objective was to hit you with the knife at this height, but he's got penetration and everything came down here, so that's going to help you out with this control. From here, I am going into point of objectives. In other words, I can either incapacitate him or terminate him. If I choose to incapacitate him, I'm going to turn the head and push him here and keep him close to my body so that knife doesn't come back to me, and I'm going to shove down again to the floor. And from here, I'll have a break ankle. Again, stand up, Chris. All right. When you, come on in. When you do the takedown, remember to push with your body and shove down here and driving straight down. From here again, you can choose which ankle you're going to attack. Or, of course, you can terminate him. In other words, he comes in, you got our line of fire, went here. From here, one and schlock out. It is important here to realize that when I got him where I wanted, your point of reference is weaker because of the nature of the angle of attack. Therefore, you're going to have to neutralize in a different way. All right? When you're going for the takedown to break his ankle, remember to first push up. When you push the chin up, most people will try to resist going backward here. That's going to short circuit him. Instead of start thinking, switching the hand with the knife or do something with the knife. In other words, when I'm here, he's going to try to push there. That will give you that you can take for the takedown or, so to speak, for the termination. Remember to slide up and don't reach out. He's going to bite you. Slide up. Now as he resists, you take that and borrow it for the schlock. All right, now we're going to deal with the fact that he's already on top of you and you never had a chance to move to the side. In other words, either he was already on top of you or your awareness wasn't there and your timing is off, and out of being the last resort, as he came in, I blocked. Remember, if you're forced to block, according to the relationship of the engagement, remember to have it 90 degrees. Do not panic and reach out and then you're going to redirect that knife to your organs. Make sure it's 90 degrees. Now, given the fact that I am not armed, in other words, I don't have a weapon to deploy, I'm not going to hit. Because if I hit now, I disconnect him, and then I do not contain him. Again, every time it comes in as a hand-to-hand tactic, I want to contain my opponent. I never want to repel him. It's a Nagana principle that is very important to keep as you fight, because you don't want to stress you out in the ways that you're going to start changing tactics. All right, so instead of hitting, what I'm going to do, as he comes in here on contact, I'm going to shoot in my hand. As I shoot my hand in, I'm going to figure four and step through. Now watch what I mean figure four and step through. I'm going to shoot and put my hand right here. As I put my hand right here, it forms a number 4. It forms a number 4. That's why it's called a figure 4. As soon as I got the figure 4, I'm going to step through and push toward his shoulder. Do not push out, because then the hand gets straightened up and he has freedom with the knife. Again. So I'm here. I did this out of instinct. I shoot in figure 4. I'm going to push this way and step through. As I step through, I'm going to rip shoulder and take him down. Again. 1, shoot, step through, rip it, incapacitate him, and take him down. On this one, because of the nature of the attack, and it was a last resort, and I have a figure 4, I only have an incapacitation. I don't want to let go and try to fish for his head while the knife is right there. In other words, here, I am definitely going for the incapacitation of ripping his shoulder out completely and tearing all the tendons. It is important that you don't reach out and do it here, then it's strength against strength, and you're still in the line of that hand as a struggle. I'm going to step through and just rip and take him down, incapacitate him in the process. All right. As Chris comes in, remember to maintain the 90 degree. As you shoot in, you're going to form the figure 4 by grabbing your own arm. Right now you got the 4. Remember to push towards his shoulder as you enter. If you're going to push this way, it's going to straighten him up and he's got something to fight with. I'm going towards his joint. As I do so, I step in and I rip. Okay, in reality, you just rip through. This time, Chris is going to come in with a straight stab. It doesn't matter if he uses this lead or if he stabs from the rear, or so to speak, if he grabs my shirt and goes for a stab. I treat the attack the same way according to the line of fire. Now, because he's coming in the center, that is considered primarily danger. In other words, my primary defense now will be to move to 11 o'clock. I am going to cut angle to 11 o'clock. If I only do so, he's going to follow me and cut me. I'm going to have to insert a protection. From here, I'm going to have a 90-degree angle block. Again, he comes in, 90-degree angle block. The block is 90 degree. Do not have a diagonal. If you have a diagonal, you direct him to your abdominals. You keep it right here. Now from here, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cup. All I do is this. Okay, do not grab with your thumb. If you grab with your thumb and he jerks it back, pull back, I'm going to go with it and it's going to short circuit me. I'm cupping it down simply so I can strike him, all right? Because on this particular technique, if I try to grab him, I'm going to end up too negative and cut it and kick him, I'm going to end up being cut. No good. So from here, I cup down and I short circuit him by hitting right here. As I hit him right here, I'm right into my transition, into my point of reference. Again. So number 1, right here, 90 degree, cup down, hit him. Transition, point of reference. Make sure it's nice and tight. Make sure your hand is in the armpit so the head will not be able to switch the blade. And from here I go to work. 1, 2, 3, into one of my objectives. Again. This time Chris is coming in with an understab. Because of the nature of this attack being very strong, I'm going to take a 90-degree block to begin with. Okay, it's important here that you look at my body posture. I'm leaning into the block, so I maintain the knife far away from me. If I simply block and the knife is long enough, and according to the penetration of his strength, I'm going to get stabbed. So I am going to actually lean into that 90 degree. Again, make sure it's 90 degree, not bigger, because then I'm going to actually direct him to my throat or to my neck. All right, so again, I'm here. Now I'm going to hit him in the groin. 1, as I do my transition. Why? When I'm here and I hit him in the groin, it's going to help me going into my point of reference. All right, again. Do not hit in the face. You hit in the face, you'll disconnect him, and that is designed for deployment. Right now, again, I'm working without a weapon. In other words, he comes in, 1, and hit in the groin. From here, I got my transition into my point of reference. Remember, you want this in, nice and tight. 1, 2, 3, and then you can go into one of your objectives. Again. Okay, that brings us to the issue, if you're law enforcement and you cannot incapacitate or you cannot terminate your opponent. As a guideline in the Agana system, we do not like to disarm. However, if your job description dictates that you do have to do a disarm, it will be done out of a takedown. In other words, if Chris came in with any of the attacks and I'm right here and I kicked and I got to my point of reference, okay, I'm not going to go here and try to do a disarm because his mentality is all on the knife to begin with. Okay, the Agana practitioner will be taught to get to the point of reference, demolish him, 1, 2, 3, and from here simply shove him down into a takedown. 1 here, strip down the knife. Okay, so if you have to disarm according to your law enforcement objectives, I want to take him down, soften him up, and strip the knife away when I am in a complete control of the situation versus me fishing for the knife. Also, it brings you also to the point of deployment. If Chris attacks me with a knife or shows the intention to attack with a knife and I'm on the job, most likely you have a firearm on you. And it's better for you to deploy and contain the scene with the firearm because it's going to keep you safe much easier. However, if the contact was already established and you already into your point of reference, from here, if you want to disarm him, do not fish for the hand. Simply take him down first, soften him up, strip him down, and the knife is in your possession. That brings us to knife threats issues. A knife threat is different than a knife attack. The knife attack, the intention and the action was already in flight. With the knife threat, he's going to have one of 3 demands behind that knife threat. It can all be categorized in 3 categories. Number 1, possessions. Number 2, your body. Or number 3, information. Possession, it could be that he's robbing you or he's kidnapping you, abducting you for ransom. Your body could be he's about to rape you or he's about to kill you and then rape you. Or then it goes into information. He needs the information out of you. The first scenario is Carlos coming in, putting the knife right here to my throat. Again, there is a demand. If he wanted me dead, he would have cut me, and this would be irrelevant. That demand keeps me alive. The first thing I'm going to do is comply, or at least act like I'm complying. I am doing so I stress him down. His stress level goes down. He thinks he's going to get his demand. Therefore, it's not to his advantage to slack me in my neck. And here also, I'm getting my hands closer to the area where I'm going to want to operate. So again, number 1 will be right here. From here, I need to prevent the primary danger of this threat, which is him moving the knife 1 inch this way. As long as I can prevent that blade traveling 1 inch this way, I will be safe. If I start stressing myself out, he's going to cut me, he's going to kill me, I can't focus. I'm going to be here and I'm going to prevent that. By that, I'm going to turn my body and hit the forearm. Turning my body will disconnect the blade. Hitting the forearm will prevent him to move in that direction. In doing so, I'm going to have to seize the hand, because if I simply do this, he's going to attack somewhere else. In other words, I'm going to have to seize that. I'm coming here, and I'm seizing right here. Again, I'll do it slow. Amen, whatever you want. Turn, hit, and seize. From here, I'm going to maintain the hold here. It's important that you hold him on your body and not here. If you hold here, it's easy for Carlos to come out and cut me open. So I'm coming in 1, 2. and hold him. A lot of times in training, I tell my people to try to yank out. And if they can't yank out, you got to secure properly. All right, from here, I'm going to hit right here with the back of my hand, serving me into my famous point of reference. As soon as I got a point of reference, it's very important here that your forearm is across his face. If you have it like this, he can reach out for the knife on the other side or on the inside, so to speak, and cut me open. Make sure that the hand is here so he cannot reach out for the knife. From here, of course, I'm going to work. 1, 2, 3 knees, and going into one of my objectives. When the knife is in, it's important that you put one hand in, one hand out. Don't put two hands out, and definitely don't put two hands in. You're going to need one hand in so you can operate. You always put the one that's out on the side where the knife is. In other words, I'm not going to put one in out in here because this hand is irrelevant, it's just holding me. I'm always going to be here. Now, if the knife is here, it's the same thing. One hand in, one hand out. Always the one out, the one that's by the knife. When you raise your hand, especially when it's this close, do not do it abruptly. Because when you do this abruptly, out of just reaction, he's going to cut you. You're going to have to just sneak your hand in, comply, tell him whatever he wants, and bring the hands right here so you can operate and work from there. Amen. Whatever you want. This side. Amen. Whatever you want. This time Carlos is coming in and putting the blade on the inside. In other words, the blade is here versus here. This will be a completely different technique because if you go here, you're actually going to help him cut. So on this one, you're going to have to go the other direction. Again, he's got a demand. That demand keeps me alive. I'm going to pick up my hand. One inside, one outside as usual. You're going to do this because I don't want you to go this one, this one, this one. I want all the time the programming be the same. I'm coming here. This time I'm going to prevent him to cut by grabbing and coming here. Watch again. Grabbing and coming here. From here, hit, point of reference, and you're going to stick the hand to your shoulder versus being on the chest. Again. 1, 2. Grab, point of reference. Make sure you maintain that the knife is secured to your shoulder. From here, 1, 2, 3 knees, and to one of your objectives. Again. Amen. Whatever you want. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, into one of your objectives. Amen. Whatever you want. Amen. Whatever you want. This time Carlos is going to come from the rear. Again, I have to identify the primary danger. Primary danger now is the blade traveling this way. I have to prevent him traveling this way. The first thing I'm going to do again is act like I'm complying, so I'm also getting my hands closer. What I'm going to do is I'm coming here and I'm going to plug right here. As I plug right here, the knife will disconnect. Again, this will be one, whatever you want, act like you're complying. Don't look at him with the corner of the eyes. They're very provocative and he might, out of being nervous, just slack you out. You hear one and dropping. As soon as you dropped here, you're going to secure this hand, hit him in the groin right here to ring the bell. Hitting the groin. Do not let go both hands. One and secure it. From here, I'm going to raise my shoulder to find my way out. From here, if you pay attention, I can actually stab him with his own knife and I didn't even put my fingerprints on that knife. I'm coming in the rear, pick up into a chicken wing. From here, I have my objective. I can slack him out or I can take him down and break his ankle. Again, this will be one. Amen, whatever you want. Drop here. I disconnect the knife, hit him in the groin. Up with my shoulder, find my way out right behind him. You want to stab him? Fine. Coming up, make sure you grab him here so he stays erect. From here, you can schlag him out or you can take him down and break the ankle. Okay, as you come from underneath, and here it's important that you keep everything tight. Don't come out and give him room. All he's going to do is yank and he'll be out and he'll be free. When you came from underneath, you want to raise your shoulders, so you create yourself a window to step right back. So you can still stab him, and you're going to drive that hand right behind his back while you're going to grab the shoulder right here and keep him erect. There will be the chicken wing right there. Only from here, he's got already pain compliance. Right here. And you go into your objectives from there. Hand goes straight up, keep it tight. If anything, you want your whole body to be involved into the chicken wing. Hey man, whatever you want. Good, again. Hey man, whatever you want. The next two tapes are going to cover Israeli tactical knife fighting. Israeli tactical knife fighting is probably the specialty of the house of the Haganah system. Before I get into the technical parts of it, techniques, how we use the knives, I want to introduce you to why Israeli tactical knife fighting is such a specialty of the house. We believe that without you being able to use a knife as a weapon, all your self-defense techniques will be incomplete in the sense of this is a new era. This is modern combat. There is knives out there. A lot of times you're going to have to use those weapons to defend yourself. There are lots of people say, I don't want to carry a knife because I just don't like it. You're going to have to carry a knife to equalize your weapon. The knife is the greatest equalizer in hand-to-hand combat in the sense of as soon as a knife is in your hand, it doesn't matter how big he is. It doesn't matter how strong he is. The knife will equalize that instantly. On top of it, you have to look at the history of the Haganah system. The Haganah system pulls out of 4 systems, 2 civilian martial arts and 2 Israeli IDF military tactics, Kapap and Lotar. In both those systems, the knife is a prevalent, strong weapon. In other words, it is a big part of the culture in the Middle East. Throughout the history of the IDF and throughout the conflict between the Israelis and the Arabs, knife attacks have been part of the culture. And because of that, both sides are armed with knives. In other words, you'll have the knife attackers and you'll also have the IDF operators that carry knives. It is important that you learn how to use a knife also as an intelligence gathering, how to deal with the knife attack. If I don't know how a knife attacker is going to attack me with a knife, how the hell can I defend against it? In other words, I'm going to have to learn how to use that knife to be aware of what's coming in. If I don't know how to use a knife, I surely don't know how to defend against a knife. So that's on a tactical level. Also, it is important that you understand the violence involved in a hand-to-hand combat situation. Combat, street fighting, violence is serious business. If you don't bring the weapons into play and the other side does, they'll always have the advantage. So yes, you want to be the good guy, but on the other hand, you don't want to be the underdog in the fight. Therefore, it is important that you build Israeli tactical knife fighting into your curriculum, into your arsenal as an Haganah practitioner. With that in mind, let's get to work. This tape is going to deal with gun threats. Before I get into the technical aspect, I have to introduce you to concepts and principles of firearms and also strategies done with the firearms. This tape deals with gun threats. If somebody wants to shoot you, they will do it from a distance, and all these techniques are irrelevant. I cannot teach you to catch a bullet with your teeth. It's impossible. In other words, the only reason why you're staying alive is because it is a gun threat, not a gun attack. If he wants to shoot you, he will do it from a distance, and all these techniques in this step is irrelevant. When a person pulls a gun at you and threats you, there are 3 objectives that he is going to have, and they all fall in one of those 3 categories. Number 1,